Hello and welcome to Happiness and Wellness. I'm your host, Geeta Arora. And today we have a beautiful, wonderful guest with us who is going to share her talents and knowledge about the chakra system. What makes Neeta so special is that she has a background in law from the Harvard University, and then you transitioned your career completely into art. How did that come about?
Well, thank you for inviting me to the show, Geeta. I'm really happy to be here. And yes, it has indeed been a very interesting journey. It's not something that I could have predicted some years back, but here I am. And the thing is, I was really enjoyed my study of law. I was, really drawn to law, and I have 3 degrees in law, to be precise. But I also come from a background of philanthropy and healing. My mother was an extremely spiritual person, an artist trained both in the Eastern and Western styles of art in London and in India herself. So from very early on, I was exposed to art, although I never don't have a formal training in art. And I was surrounded by healers because that's what she was. And yeah, it's been an interesting journey, and maybe later on in the show we will be talking about the effect and influence of colors. And at that point, I was going through a blue-purple phase, and now in hindsight, it all makes sense. Of course, at that point, I was equally bewildered, and I didn't know where I was going. I felt rudderless, but yeah.
Yeah, this is great because this time I think it'd be great to explain to our viewers about what exactly the chakra system is. The chakra system is, the word chakra itself in Sanskrit, it means a wheel, like a spinning wheel.
Yes.
And with that, there's no spinning wheels in the body,
Right.
but it is an energy center. And so we have many that start from the navel. It said that we have 72,000 channels that come out, different pathways that come out from that part of the body. And it's all over the body. So these chakra system, these chakras, these wheels, these spinning wheels of energy is all over the body, but we have 7 that is the most distinct. And what we look at is when the first 3 chakras, the first 3 base chakras are grounded, then the heart opens. And when the heart opens, then
Yes.
one is able to speak their truth. And when one is able to speak their truth, then you can manifest whatever you want, because now you're standing in your own authentic self. And with that, how do you work with the chakra system and with the art healing therapy?
Yes. Well, the way, let me talk a little bit about my understanding of the chakras, which is exactly what you said, but the way I look at it is there are the 7 energy centers, starting from the Muladhara, the root chakra, which is red, and it's about the way I see it is it's about safety, but it's about your true identity. It's something that I would say I am safe. And then you go to the next chakra, the second chakra, sacral chakra, and that is about the orange color, and it's about creativity. It's like, so after I am, it's I create. And then the third one is I am strong. It's I'm safe, I am creative, I am strong, I am loved. And then you talk about the throat chakra, which is I am expressive and I'm intuitive. And finally the crown chakra, which is about I am divine, or I'm pure awareness, pure consciousness. And so and then I work with colors. I'm an artist, and so when I started out as a hobby, and I would talk to my friends, and every time they would go through a bad time, or tough time or challenging time, they would come to me and we'd talk and say, hey, let's just paint something, and I would start them off. And I would give them a canvas or a piece of paper, and that was very significant because white is the color of pure potentiality. Anything can happen. It's a amalgamation of all the colors together is white. And then I tell them not to think too much, just go for it, not plan out anything. And I interpret what they do depending on the choice of colors, and also the style and subject of what they are what they have sort of allowed themselves to paint, and we go through it, and I interpret it depending, like I said, if it's the colors, then each color is associated with either with safety or creativity or power, self-expression or love or just the ability to communicate. So we go through that, and I try to make them understand that anything, everything in this world is it's the polarity. It's whatever you have, there's also a lack. So you could have love or lack of it, or an ability to communicate, or some sort of a blockage there. So when earlier I was talking to you about my blue-purple phase, like you mentioned, the first 3 chakras are about the body consciousness. It's about how you show up in the world, how it's about just surviving and creating and expressing, controlling, creating something. And at the heart level, it all sort of comes together to move you on to the next 3 chakras, which is the first 3 chakras are about the female energy, which is about power and creation, manifestation. And the top 3 chakras are the male energy, which is about more spiritual, more intellectual energy. And the blue phase that I was talking about pulled me towards it because the blue is the color of the throat, which is the chakra for expression, for communication. And I'm not surprised that I was attracted to law, because it's something that really helps you to communicate. But I was deeply dissatisfied and disillusioned because it wasn't the kind of expression and communication I was, looking for. And I felt constricted, and I couldn't speak my truth. And I felt caged. And I'm like, here I am. I've been trained to communicate and to express not only my views, but the views of my clients. And I felt sort of like, I was choking, and I didn't have the liberty to say and do the things I wanted to do.
Well, isn't that something like what people are doing in corporate America right now? Everywhere you look, people are suffocating because they've been trained in how to build a career around something, how to achieve more wealth or success. And there's nothing wrong with that.
Right.
There's nothing wrong with achieving success and wealth, but
not at all. In fact, the thing is that the parameters and yardsticks of success is very different. Again, we have this one constricted fit, one size fits all about success, and it doesn't work that way, because everybody has their own idea of success. And so then even in the color, in the chakra system, people say, oh, I want to be the crown chakra, or I want to open my third eye chakra. It's everything works in together. The male and female energy complement each other. And every old tradition, wisdom tradition, if you look at the Chinese, the yin and yang, the positive, the negative, the male, the female, you can't just say that I want to, focus on one chakra, because the others would be out of balance. And if your root is not grounded, the tree is bound to fall at some point. It's not going to hold its own. So people have to understand that,
That's great. So with that, I have a fun question for you.
Right.
So what do you think about red lipsticks? Like females, they like wearing red lipstick to get attention, and men like to get a red Ferrari or a red car. What's with the red?
It's red is the color, the primal color. It's associated with the root chakra, which is the first chakra, which is your identity, your very survival, your grounding. So when you wear red, it's about it's about attracting attention. It's something that you need to, the women, you remember a lady in red, or a lady wearing a red, you never remember a lady in red, a blue dress, or the yellow dress. You remember
it's not as attractive.
And
In
fact, I was reading an article some time back which said that all these food stores, the fast food stores, have red in them, because that is something that subconsciously attracts you. When you're hungry, you look for red, because it's about survival. And the men wanting the red Ferrari, or the women wearing the red, it's attracting each other, because it is your progeny you have to create and reproduce and sort of go forward into the world. So I'm not surprised.
That just takes us to the Indian culture. They wear red at Indian ceremonies, and then they wear the red dot on the forehead.
That's right. Actually, in fact, it's funny because when I got married, and my mother and I had quite the struggle because she wanted me to buy all the typical bridal wear, colors like pinks and reds and yellows, and I was revolting, and I wanted to,
And those
rebelling.
are the base chakra colors, right?
Exactly, and
First
those
three
are
colors.
the colors of creation, of manifestation. These are the female energy, and that is why the Indian tradition, prepares the bride to get into it's a life of passion in the sense of creativity, of being in that zone. You don't want to seek liberation or be detached at that point. So
Otherwise, the wife wouldn't do anything at home. She would be
well,
meditating.
not just not doing anything. You don't want to be in the, the top chakras are for meditation and spirituality, and that is not what you want when you're building a foundation and a life together, and you're getting ready to create and to go forward into the world. So that was one way of sort of focusing your energies. When you wear a color, when you surround yourself by those colors, you are inviting that energy into your life. So
yeah, that's beautiful. I remember, just my own personal story. There was a time of struggle in my life where, I was transitioning, and there was a lot of, I would say, a lot of, I was feeling very lonely.
mm-hmm.
It was a journey, as always, all of us have in life. And during that time of my life, in my younger years, I used to wear a lot of bright colors, like the reds, the yellows, and all that. And I know clearly you're coming into the world and you're creating your life, but certain occurrences happened that I think back now, my whole wardrobe was black and dark blue and all those colors. And I know I call it loneliness, but it could also be like solitude. So what do you think of that? Do you have clients who draw out those colors?
Oh,
on
yes. Even famous, Western artists like Van Gogh and Picasso have gone through their pink phases and blue phases, and it's not coincidental at all. And, if you sit down, I mean, this is not, we don't have enough time to really go in depth into that thing, but the things that what I know of you, you actually have embarked on a spiritual journey yourself to discover, and I'm not surprised because the colors of blue and purple and dark colors signify the male energy, and these are the energies associated with expression, with communication, with intuition, and with awareness. But like I said before, there can be a negative side to it when you're not able to, or you're not comfortable, or you don't know where you are at that point. You can feel lonely, and you can feel sort of depressed and you indecisive. But once you work things out, it actually, you go to the positive side of those colors, which is more like you're able to express your higher truth. You're able to be intuitively know what you want to do, and so
Yeah, that's great. So for what I was just explaining, when people come to see you, what would you do? Like, suppose if I came to you and I said, I have. Do they actually tell you their life story about what's
No,
going on for them, or?
I encourage them not to do that because that would influence my interpretation of it. I like to sort of think that I, like to heal and inspire and teach and entertain my clients. And I don't want to know what it is because it, like I said, I would have I'd be biased. So I tell them, I give them this canvas or a piece of paper, depending on what their inclination is. Some people like to just do oil painting, some like to do color pencils. And we sit down, and after I look at it, I go through the colors that they have chosen and the significance of those colors, and also the styles, because, in art, just like in your spiritual journey, the more the baser colors are about manifestation. It's about concrete physical body consciousness, and the upper colors are about liberation, about not being attached. It's something that is a potential. So then, depending on the colors they choose and the style, when you do something very detailed and very representational, realistic, you are operating from the lower three chakras. And when you're doing something more abstract, something more figurative, it's definitely you're operating from the top three chakras. So the combination of both, I sit down and then I ask them a set of questions, and it's different from everyone, but the basic questions I ask is the experience that they're going through. What do they think they're learning from it? And I sort of make them delve into their experience, and then I ask them, what do you think this experience, what qualities of character is it asking you to develop? And you'd be surprised how intuitive they are when they are, open to this kind of therapy. And then finally, I tell them, what do you think? How is this experience going to make you any better? And the first question tells me what is wrong with them, what is not working for them. And then
What's
the
out of
final,
balance, maybe.
yes, and then the last question gives me an idea of they know exactly what they need to do. Sometimes you're stuck and you don't know, and you're just not allowing yourself, giving yourself permission to experiment and investigate what you're going through. So it's a game that we play, and we talk to each other, and it's quite intriguing, actually. And every time they say, "Oh my God, this is amazing," and they.
That's great.
Yeah.
It's like tapping into your own intuition to find yourself.
Yes, and healing at every level is a very personal thing, and it is, we are actually all whole and healed ourselves. It's just that we block ourselves so that that the energy doesn't express. But healing has to come from within, from you. Nobody can heal you from the outside. They can show you the way, they can guide you, but ultimately you have to get to that point and release the negative energy or negative thought process that is holding you back.
That's wonderful. And what would you tell women who are looking at possibly like weight loss or not sleeping at night? How would
that
you
is
work with that?
definitely a root chakra, red chakra problem. It's about insecurity. It's about not feeling safe. It could be personal, physical safety. It could be financial insecurity. It could be, it is definitely, something to do with not feeling safe. Because, and in the modern world, when you look at, read, about science, they say that when you're insecure, when you're going through stress, the body releases cortisol, which goes to the abdomen, and so it's something that they need to find to activities that ground them, that give them, if they are physically unsafe, they have to remove themselves from that situation. But many times it's not just physical safety we're talking about financial, it's about so many other kinds of insecurities. And there are many exercises that you can do, the colors you wear, the kind of food you eat, what you surround yourself by, and that can definitely go a long way towards healing your.
Yeah, this is really informative, and I think that a lot of people, they seem to want to ask the question, if my chakra is off balance, what can I do? But I think in this conversation, what I'm also hearing is that it's not about what you do from picking a color,
No,
because
it's not
you
as
think
simple
that
as that.
something is off
Yeah.
for you, but it's more so that you look at your imbalances and then you are embracing whatever, there's maybe a lesson to learn from it.
Oh, absolutely. Every experience brings a lesson to learn, and if you don't learn it, it's going to repeat itself over and over again until you get the lesson, and then you move forward. So color is only one part of it, and music, there's music to it. In fact, when my clients are, I give them that little job to whatever, do it, I have music playing, and you'd be surprised the tremendous impact music has, especially classical music, on taking you, transcending you beyond your logical thinking mind to your subconscious, to your more creative right brain. So music and color and art go hand in hand.
Now, a lot of people, I know the third chakra has to do with not being able to let go.
Yes.
To not surrender. So a lot of times in our society right now, people are so overworked and tired and they can't sleep at night. Do you think do you see that, the yellow chakra?
Yes, yes.
The
So
yellow
many,
colors?
yes.
Not the
But
yellow chakra,
yeah,
but.
yes. But the thing is, very few people actually wear yellow. And don't you think that's interesting, that that is the one in imbalance?
Well, I wore it today.
Yeah, I make an effort to do that, because I go through my phases and I, go think, what is holding me back? And it's the yellow chakra, the yellow color, which is the color of third chakra, is about control. It's about discipline. It's about determination. It's about, your power, what you can your strength. So when you're trying to overdo it, that can be blocked, or when you don't do enough to claim your power. So yellow is indeed one of the least used and most blocked chakras in my experience. Most people go for the top three or the bottom two, and green is which is the heart chakra, which is where everything comes together. Even that is something. But yellow, I don't really see too many people using, and I would really encourage people to use yellow, or pare back if they're using it, overusing it. But I haven't met too many people.
Now, looking at the heart chakra, there's two chakras that is most significantly, I think people really focus on, which is, one is the second chakra, which has to do with pleasures and desire, and the other is about the heart. And oftentimes this is all what we focus on. I had a client, and she told me that her she gets healing work done because she thinks her second chakra is blocked, and she desires things and she wants more pleasure, and there's nothing wrong with all of that.
No.
But when a person focuses on just that and is now unable to focus on the foundation of what they're living on, how they're living in the world, then does that become a problem?
Yes, that's what we were talking about earlier, that you can't just fix a deeper issue just by wearing a color or not wearing a color. That's not it. There are so many other things, and you need to be able to introspect a lot. And many times, as you know in your work, that the mantra, the sound meditations are very useful. And also going through this question and answer where we sit down and discuss, and force somebody to think about it, because many times when we're not comfortable with something, the automatic reflex is to push it under the carpet and not deal with it. So yeah, definitely, there's something that she needs to sit down and either me or somebody else, people who are in the business, discuss what's going through it, and and tie that to her experiences, her current experiences, what she's going through. And you would find that I can almost predict the kind of color she would wear, not wear, and not just wear, but even the flowers or the wall colors or the choice of cars that you drive. Your choice of colors can be seen in many ways other than just what you wear on yourself.
Yeah, that's very interesting, because I think once we become so aware of like the colors that's out there, or how we're choosing the color of our plates, the color of your purse, the color of your clothes, all of those things matter. And the other chakra that is often spoken about is the heart chakra. My heart is blocked, or I'm feeling grief, or I'm feeling sad, or I'm feeling lonely, or I feel depressed, whatever that is. There's a lot of emotions there, and it happens to be the bridge in between the bottom three and the top three. So can you speak to that a little bit?
Yeah, the heart, like you said, it's the bridge, because it brings both energies together, and both energies, the male, female, or the yin, yang, whatever you call it, they have their place, but until they're brought together to work together, it's no good. So that's why the heart chakra is so important. And heart, the color of green, is also the color of excuse me, Mother Earth, which is everything, that it absorbs everything, and it's this, it stands for compassion, for unconditional love. And so most people, before you go off in any particular direction, which like I said, the male energy, the cool colors are all upward moving, intellectual, logical, left brain, and the warm colors are all female colors, downward moving, emotional. So you have to keep them balanced and in harmony, and that's where the heart has a significant role to play.
That's wonderful. Or let me ask you this question. What is it that you can share with other people that you see in your work? What is the most significant message that you can give around healing with the chakras and art therapy?
I would say that people paint themselves into a box and say, I'm good for this, I'm not good for this, or I have spent my life studying a certain thing or preparing for a certain thing. You don't know what life brings your way, and many times we're misled by our families or our culture, society, times. And I'm speaking from my personal experience, because like I said, I have 3 degrees in law, and I have spent considerable amount of money, time, energy studying it, but I just couldn't live that life. I couldn't practice law. It was suffocating me. It was extremely deeply unsatisfying. But I had the courage and the heart to say, okay, fine, something is wrong. I don't want to be spending my life feeling this way. So you should allow yourself the time to step back and introspect. It's very important, because people think, oh, it's I'm 30 or 40 or whatever, I've spent so much money, I've done this, and no, just because, and it's not even a wrong choice. At that point in your life when you decided to do something, that was the right thing to do. but doesn't mean that's going to be the right thing to do for the rest of your life. So once you accept, when you're receptive to open to ideas, the ideas will come and you will be guided to go in the direction where you will feel fulfilled and find your life purpose, for sure.
That's really encouraging and
Yes.
inspirational, because I think that's just fabulous, that you are a person who represents a person who's developed that intellectual, the left side of the brain so well.
Right.
And not only that, but taking a stand and saying, I've been to an Ivy League school and the other places where you've been to, and you've gotten degrees, but it doesn't matter. I can change at any time in my life because it's a journey.
Right.
It's your own spiritual journey.
It's a journey. It's not a destination. It's a journey, and you have to be open and soft and pliable, and you have to go with the flow. You cannot be rigid about anything. The other day, my daughter was asking, Mom, I don't know what to do, and I want to do medicine, and I want to do management, and I want to do journalist and lawyer, and she's like, I'm all over the place. I said, doesn't matter, just pick something. She said, what if I don't like it 20 years from now? I said, doesn't matter. Right now, what you enjoy, you go for it, because there's never going to be any security, any assurance, any guarantee that you're going to like anything. But whatever you do in the moment, if you're enjoying it, that's all that matters. And you'll take care of whatever happens later. You will find a way to get around it and find your peace.
What a great message for kids. What a
Yeah,
great message.
because,
You're such a good mom.
I would like to believe so, but I'm not so sure the kids are going to agree with that.
Well, isn't that the case all the time? We don't come with parenting
True.
manuals, but we
I
try our
know.
best as
We
moms.
take, classes for everything, and yet when it comes to parenting, which is so important, nobody ever, tells you what to do, and you just imbibe
You just
by
imbibe.
osmosis from your own experience and from people around you.
Yeah, and I think this is such a great conversation because it does help to somehow even understand your own children,
Right.
Perhaps what colors they're choosing, that might be
No.
an indication of the direction they're going in their life.
I know, and I can see it, but I'm sort of a skeptic. I'm reluctant to tell them because they have to find out on their
Right.
own. And like any healing, people have to come to you. You cannot force healing on people. When they're ready, good and ready, they'll come to you. And I see my daughter, she wears a certain color all the time, and I know what that means and what she's going through right now, the confusion, the lack of clarity, and I know what it is, but I hold myself back saying, hey, let me tell you what to do, because it has to be a personal journey, and you cannot sort of bring it too quickly or push it away.
Well, this has been such a fabulous, conversation with you, and hopefully our viewers, they took a lot away from this listening to you, and you are such a representation of the creative, conscious entrepreneurs and women out there now who are changing the way the way we do business, the way we're operating in society, the way we're looking at old thoughts. So thank you so much for being here with us today.
Thank you for having me again, and it's like like you, it's been a journey for me, and every day I'm learning new things and meeting exciting people like you and sharing the journey.